Kurt, we're back in the hot seat. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Sorry to leave you hanging last week. You did a pretty good job, but just solo, so
It's actually
don't make it a regular thing, but
I'm not going to need you anymore. No, it's
exactly
it's
that's what this is about.
It's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
I just tend to ramble too much. Like, at least when someone else is there, you can pick up where I fall short, or you can hit back with something else that will keep me back on track. But it was a good learning experience anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. When I was watching it, I felt like, I wanted to be engaged in the conversation, so I felt like I wanted to just call you straight away and be like, yeah, this and that. Yeah, but yeah, so I think maybe, if there are people listening to this who enjoy camera talk and, whatever we discuss, hopefully they're feeling the same way as I did last week, and that we're just like, oh yeah, well, that's a good thought, or, maybe this is another take on whatever you had to say. So
it got a reasonably good response just in terms of like engagement and stuff. And to be honest, I don't think it's because it didn't have you in it. I think it's honestly because I had a bit of a set, and like the thumbnail looked really good. So I think more people clicked on it earlier.
Yeah.
And actually watched it. So that's one thing I do want to get better at when we finish this. We're going to both move the microphones away, and we're going to just like do like silly expressions to the camera.
Wow faces.
Yeah, exactly. So I can cut a good thumbnail. As like annoying as it
works.
Is,
honestly,
it does work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I saw it, and you had the whole yellow background, and I was like, this is different. What is it? What's he going to talk about? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll do it again when I need to, but it's so lovely to have you back.
All right, what are we chatting about today?
Let's jump straight in. First thing I want to talk about is the slump. It's something that I'm sort of going through at the moment, and after a big run up towards the end of last year, I was just on such a motivational high, like getting back into the channel and getting back into my good habits and routines and whatever. I might have mentioned to you, I read that book Atomic Habits, and it just like kickstarted all of that stuff for me. And I suppose what I've learned is it's easy when it's easy, right? When you feel that way, everything just falls into place, but that doesn't last forever. And I want to talk about what happens in the times after that. Sometimes it's weeks or months. I found it really hard to actually just sit down and focus long enough to get an edit out. In some ways, it's been really good that we've done this podcast together, because having another person involved keeps me accountable. And, if I schedule something in with you, it means that I can't not record that piece of content.
Exactly.
I've also held myself to upload every Friday, so I've got to get them up. But outside of that, I've just had no motivation, and I've just felt very sort of flat about it all to do other content. So straight off the bat, I can jump in and talk about something, but I want to throw it to you. Is there anything that comes to mind? What happens? When was the last time, can you remember having gone through a slump, and what's it look like for you?
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot more regular than people realize, especially, just trying to be creative 100% of the time is really hard. So month to month, you might have different interests, whether there's a Netflix show on TV that someone's watched or whatever, that maybe it might be cinematic, or might get, it's filmed in a certain way to get your brain thinking outside what you normally see. Or it might be, for me, maybe it's sports season and the NBA's on. So now I'm, engulfed in that, and I'm like, maybe I want to go shoot some basketball or try some different, player capture kind of things. So I think it's hard, because it could be many factors around you that kind of dictate how you're feeling. And when you're actually on those highs where you're just creative, for weeks on end, you kind of just got to jump it all in and be on board with it, because it could be the next week and then you kind of feel flat again. And, that could be from using the same gear every time, or doing the same shoots, or doing too many shoots, or not enough shoots. So I guess there's just so many factors. But for me, lately, what's helped me get out of those slumps is like the purchase of new gear, or pulling old gear out of the cupboard. So I'm really, this year moving forward, I really want to focus a lot more on film photography. So this week I pulled out a couple of old film cameras, and just to have that tactile experience, and not being able to, I'm taking a photo because I want to make it a good picture, and I'm not taking a photo to post it online. Like, I know that sounds crazy as hell, but yeah, like, you don't have to post everything you do online. So for me, to help me out of those slumps, it is finding, maybe, falling in love with something that you did early on within your photography, or it could be also an opportunity that comes to you. Someone wants you to shoot something that you haven't shot, and then you can get excited about researching again, and then trying to master that. Because I think for me, in a lot of things, the trying to master the technique, or the sport, or whatever it is you're trying to do, that's the enjoyment for me. It's trying to get to that end goal. It's not necessarily like the daily routine of doing that task. So for me, it's like more about mastering it. And it's like, well, film photography is, it's bloody hard if you don't know what you're doing. And you could easily burn through a couple of rolls of film that would be crappy or a waste of time. So, and again, then it flips it back to, like, if you're immediately not successful as well, that can like, plummet you down even further into that shitty, limbo that you are. Like, what do you feel, I guess, is holding you back at the moment, like, to be able to fight, like, reignite that spark?
Honestly, I don't know. I think, there's a million excuses that you could make. Like, I could say that I was too busy, or I could say that there was a lot going on outside of work at this time of year, and, we're renovating the house, and that's all a bit of a shambles. And, there's a million excuses that I could make. But I think when it all comes down to it, I think motivation is just, it's that spark. It's a beautiful thing, but it's a convenience that we can't, as professionals, we can't rely on. We need to learn either how to pull yourself out of it, or how to work despite it, and get the job done anyway. I suppose it's a bit different for you. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I can assume that I think it probably would have some role, that you might sort of hit those places because maybe you're feeling burnout. Maybe the slump comes from being too busy. Whereas for me, I think the moment that I let myself slip, or give myself a day off or a week off, or if I don't keep to that deadline or whatever, like, when I start to be inactive, I think that's when the slumps happen. When I'm doing my good habits and I've got that streak going, let's say for the last 20 days in a row, I've woken up early and been on the computer editing my videos before work. That's, happy days. But it's like, for that 1 or 2 days where I'm like, I think I might just sleep in that extra hour, or I had a late night. I think I'll be much better off tomorrow if I just don't put in the work in the morning. For me, I think it's not necessarily the burnout. It's just it's almost being too soft on myself. And it's like, I've broken the streak now, so it's easy. I've already missed a day, so it doesn't matter if I miss another one.
Yeah. I guess for me, probably we have totally different lifestyles and patterns, you know. So for me, I'm not a morning person, and it's really a struggle for me to like even switch on before like 10 a.m. So for me, if I think, oh, you know, I'll work late tonight and then I'll sleep in tomorrow because I need that recovery time, I think. And yeah, I think around about the time we started this podcast, man, I was burnt out. Like it was I was burnt out, you know, and to find time for this was a struggle. So, but I'm so glad I did because now it feels almost like it is a little bit of schedule for me. So then I am looking forward to it, and this is a creative outlet, you know, and almost like therapeutic for me as well, just to have a conversation. And I think every time that we've had this podcast, like after every episode, it'll actually get me thinking and excited to do more things, you know. So maybe also just talking to other creatives, which is fairly rare as well because everyone seems to be fairly guarded, you know. It's not a community like in the music scene's pretty, you know, you can talk to anyone from any band and like, you know, your best mates, whereas I feel like in this industry it's a lot different, you know. Not everyone, I don't know, from my experience anyway, you know, like everyone thinks you're trying to steal their client or whatever. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, you know, if you're a fan of someone's work, you should just be able to tell them and chat. Anyway, I'm going off tangent, but uh, I think that, yeah, even having the conversations will allow you to maybe, it's just, I think it's just about trying to like ignite something for you to like be motivated, right?
Yeah,
But then
that's
again, it's hard, even if you ignite it, then it's like it's a lot, it's a hard process to even like just say we chatted about some kind of shoot, and then to even carry that out, it's a lot, you know. You have to organize this or that or this, and then yeah, so yeah,
you're right.
it's a hard topic.
I do. You're right on two counts there. Firstly, the hardest part is just getting from 0 to 1, right? Not from 0 to 100. Just to start,
Yeah,
just to get the ball
yeah,
rolling. That's the hardest part, which I'll come back to in just a sec. But you said something else there that I've already forgotten. Oh, I always do this. It was. Anyway, I'll remember it. But
yeah,
for me, the thing that I've been focusing on in the last week, especially, is what are the ways that I can. I suppose it is tricking your brain in a way into just doing something, just getting that first little win on the board. For me, I am trying to find things that is like a hard reset, right? It's like holding down the reset button for 10 seconds, and instead of clicking shut down and shutting down properly, it's actually a hard reset. Like what's something that I can do to do a hard reset? So for me, it's like, you know, the weather's pretty warm down here at the moment. But even still, the idea of a cold shower is not that exciting to anyone. So to me, if I'm really not feeling it, I've got like the Wim Hof like breathing stuff that I do every morning, and that's like a you know, in terms of the return on investment for the 10 minutes that takes, that makes such a big impact on my day. And if I don't do that, I definitely notice a difference. But then during the day, if I'm working at home, if I'm really not feeling it, the first thing that I do for a hard reset is I close the computer and I leave my phone at home, and I go and I just take a walk for 20 minutes with no phone, no music, no nothing, and just sit with my own thoughts. And for some people that's like a bit uncomfortable, but and it's uncomfortable for me as well, because I think, oh great, I'll go for a walk, I can put on that podcast that I really want to listen to, or I'll pick back up on that audiobook I've been waiting to listen to. But it's funny how if you actually just force yourself to just have that little bit of stillness, that little bit of just allow clarity to find you a little bit, that it's amazing how all of your problems, you know, all of the knots in your mind seem to just untangle a little bit. That's number one. And then the second thing is I come home, and just before I jump back into work, I just, for 30 seconds, I just have a shower all cold. And that is just, there's nothing better to reset me than that, because it's not necessarily the actual shower that's, the most painful part. It's that 10 seconds when you're standing in the shower before you turn on the cold tap and you're psyching yourself up. That's just like, to overcome that is the most difficult part of the cold shower. It's not actually a cold shower. And it's like, once I can get that win on the board and, overcome my own, because it's just the only thing stopping me.
Well,
is
it is. Yeah. And it is like a reset. I like taking cold showers as well, just for that reason as well. It kind of gives me a bit of a reset. And I don't know, I haven't read too much on Wim Hof and the techniques, and then, the cold shower stuff. But, I heard someone say it once, so then I just started doing it. So I haven't researched it really, but all I know is that if I go 1 or 2 minutes just fully cold, it is just like, I don't know, resets your body. It's meant to be good for you. There's those plunge pools and stuff that I've gone to as well, which is that's next level, where you get out of the hot spa into the cold plunge pool. Holy hell, it is just like ice, and like it's but it's a good reset, like, for your body. Your mind as well, I think is probably, it's about overcoming it with your mind. So
For sure.
how do you use that technique with creativeness? Like, do you format your laptop and then re-download everything and
kind of
start again?
I mean, like we were just saying, it's just about getting from zero to something, right? And it's that thing of like, I think part of the reason, don't get me wrong, I'm not a good gym guy, fitness guy in any way, but I think part of the reason that people love to go to the gym or do a workout first thing in the morning is it because it just sets the tone for the rest of your day. Like, forget the endorphins, forget the health benefits and all that. It just sets the tone. It's like, if I've got myself out of bed and I've gotten to the gym and done my 45 minutes, then afterwards you're not going to go home and have a bowl of Cocoa Pops and jump back in bed, right? Afterwards you're going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to have some avocado on toast or some eggs and bacon, have a good breakfast, because I just did something good for my body.
Yes, yeah.
And it's like, okay, I've put something good in my body now. I'm going to, get dressed. I might get to work a little bit early, set myself up for the day, whatever. It's just like setting off that chain reaction of like good things in your day. And I think that's the hardest part about the slump. It's just that you can't start, and you fall into these bad patterns. Social media, we've talked about a little bit. I've now deleted everything, including YouTube, from my phone, including Reddit, anything that I can scroll. I've stopped. I mean, it helps at the moment that crypto's hurting, but that was one thing when I deleted social media the first time. I would just look for something to scroll. So I'd be refreshing crypto news or my wallets and all that. I've got nothing to scroll now. But when you
also, there's nothing in the wallet either, so
well, actually,
so you don't need to worry about that.
If you want to touch on this real quick, about 2 months ago, from about Q4 last year, I've been dollar cost averaging out, and from about 2 months ago, I took out half of my portfolio, maybe like a couple of weeks before the big crash. So
the big dive,
I've actually done okay, and the rest that I've left in, I'm just happy to just leave.
It's just whatever it's doing. I wasn't lucky enough to take it out. I was just watching it grow and grow, and I just thought that it was the best thing ever. And then so that I've been in long enough that both the dips in the last year have just hurt a lot. So I'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, they say in crypto, like, if it's not going away, you just have to zoom out your what's it called, your time horizon. You just need to look bigger picture. So as long as you don't have a bunch of nefarious shit coins, shall we say,
coins.
then all you got to do is wait, a bit longer, even if it's a year, 2, 3 or 4 years longer. As long as you've got good stuff in your portfolio, you're all good. You're Gucci, baby.
Yeah.
Anyway, not a crypto podcast. I digress. So yeah, the hard reset button, that's all the stuff that I've been trying to do, particularly in the last week, because end of last year, very, very busy in the lead up to Christmas. I pretty much worked until like the 24th, pretty much. I think 23rd was my last day maybe. And or 22nd, I can't remember. I worked almost until Christmas, like a lot of people. And then obviously, that last day or so, scrambling to do my Christmas shopping. And then there was Christmas Day. And then there was all this other stuff. And, by the time New Year's comes, it feels like you actually haven't had a break, because you've just been going from thing to thing to thing to thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So like all of a sudden after New Year's now, it's like, oh shit, like now I actually have all this time. Now there's nothing left to do but to do the work. I have no excuse. And I think that's when the slump has sort of hit me the hardest, the last just 2 or 3 days. Here's one other thing. Yesterday I spent probably the first half of the day just completely moving my entire office around, cleaning out my cupboard, getting rid of some gear, moving my desk, changing the settings on my lights. That's a really good mental reset for me. That makes me...
Yeah.
I actually love, unlike most people, I love change. I think change is fantastic, especially on your own terms. And if I can make it feel fresh and novel in here, that is something that gets me excited to sit down and actually spend time in here and do the work.
I saw you do something the other week, maybe a month ago, where I think you essentially gifted this other dude a camera, right? I'm not sure what happened, or maybe you're gonna, I don't know what happened with it, but I thought maybe that's something that that I could do for you as well to help you out of the slump. So I have a bunch of these film cameras at home, so I might send you one this week, and then give you a roll, 36 exposures, and just see what you can do. I think that might be refreshing as well, not to have to technically edit anything. It's just literally your daily life. Just take some frames. You can have it for a week, you can have it for a month, however long you need it to take those 36, and then get it developed or whatever. And just, I don't know, I there's something. It's almost like when I've seen some YouTube videos where they'll actually print their photos, and they say the art of printing shouldn't be dead because it's tactile, and it's just totally different to seeing it on the screen. So yeah, I think I'll send you that, and then you can shoot some film, and I don't know, just experience that as well, because I think that really excites me to take photos as I don't know, I feel like it's a reset as well, because you fall back in love with like the art of taking a photo rather than posting the photo. So
mate, that's
we'll try that.
It's very kind of you. That's a very exciting prospect to me. I'd love to.
Yeah, exactly. It's exciting, isn't it? It's like, holy shit, yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah,
so I think if you can implement some fun things, it doesn't always have to be this huge creative goal. It can just be as little as that, which I think is simple, just to have it. As long as you have it on you, you'll use it.
Just putting on my YouTuber hat at the moment, that you've told this to me. Do you have a GoPro?
I have a Garmin Verb, so it's the same as a GoPro. Yeah. I never use it, but yeah.
Could you conceivably, find a way to stick it on a chest mount or on top of the camera or something like that?
Yeah.
So, it could be interesting to review on a future podcast. If I was to send you a camera, you were to send me a camera, and we take whatever, 36 shots each, and then
Yeah.
in a month's time, review the shots together on a video.
Yeah.
Would you be down?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'd be keen.
Because I actually have. Maybe we can talk about this real quick. I know you weighed in on the Facebook group, and for anyone watching in the comments, if you're not already, you can join us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/BigPantsLegends. Haven't been posting as much sort of challenges and stuff lately, but it is something. The community aspect is something I want to get back into. But I put it to the group recently. I made a video. I think I'm going to remake it because I've got some ideas how to make it better. But basically, there's some other YouTubers in Melbourne who I found recently. Sort of making just really cool, dynamic, fun content, running around doing these photo challenges. And one of the guys, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say a name because I haven't got the video out yet, but he has been going through some personal stuff, and I recently bought a really cool old camera. It's a very, very, I don't even want to give it away. It's from,
I wouldn't give it.
Let's say it must be late 90s, early 2000s camera. Really, really interesting. I don't think many people will have used or seen one of these before. Anyway, I want to make a video. I want to sort of call him out and challenge him to shoot with this camera, because they do all sorts of stuff like that. They do like these photo battles, they call them, where they'll basically they'll go to a new city, they'll all split off in different directions and come back and compare the photos and get to vote on the photos, which is something that I've actually wanted to do for a long time. I actually had an idea ages ago it was part someone else's idea and then also part my idea. My take on it was, at the moment, one of the really big things in gaming across lots of different games is like the battle royale format, which is like sort of like a series, like a process of elimination. Like, you know how like Fortnite or Modern Warfare or those ones work, where it's like you start with 100 and then you narrow it down.
Last man standing,
those sort of things. I want to do something like around that with photography. I think that'd be really cool, and there could be even like a whole season of where like every week there's basically like 2 brackets. Every week there's 2 photographers and there's challenges. At the end you vote, and at the end there's season 1 winner, and we could work something out, prizes or something like that. So that's part of the reason I found these guys. They do these cool battles and stuff like that, and I want to send it to him. But the way YouTube kind of works is you kind of have to be a little bit controversial to get people's attention. So I didn't want it to be like, hi, I'm PJ, can I send you this camera, and if you want, take photos. I want it to be like it's particularly the thumbnail and the title. I want it to look like, there was a video, or in fact a lot of people do these, and it'll be like the sad truth of so and so, the sad reality of Michael Jordan, the shocking truth behind whatever, Shaquille O'Neal. And that's a little bit too clickbaity, but it's like, oh, okay, I wonder what they're going to say. I wonder what the punchline is on that video. And the thumbnail will be something a little bit sort of wacky, a bit out there. Anyway, I'm going to do something like that. Where was I going with that? So some of the guys in the Facebook group are like, it seems a bit like rude. It seems like I don't think you have to like call someone out, which I totally get. And that's sort of why I wanted to put it out there, because I wanted to see how other people, how it would land with someone else. Because I actually recorded like a sample of this. I posted it just to the group. But I know you were like, no, I'll just do it. You were like, that's a good way to get someone's attention. Well, that's my personal opinion, but either the dude can say yes or no, like, but I don't know.
yeah, as you said, you can't just be like, oh, hey, can you please, like, interact with me or whatever. It's like, well, nah. If you call someone out, either they, yeah, 9 times out of 10, they if they think it's a good idea, then they're gonna, bite back. So, and it's not even in a like aggressive or negative way. It's just like, oh yeah, cool. You don't think I can do it, or yeah, like yeah, he'll be willing to take the challenge, I think.
I'm also, in a way, I'm trying to make sure that I'm providing value as well, because YouTubers, particularly, people who do it full time, I'm not in that category, but these sort of guys, they're always looking for something. The struggle to find content every single week to make is difficult. So, I could either, I would happily come along and film the video for them, or, I'd film something for my channel. He could film something to his, or,
Yeah.
I would love to get someone do something like that, because then I could react to it, and I could make I could make some content of my own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, that's something that I want to do in the next month or so. But yeah, I'll have a think, and I'll think of a camera that I can send you as well, because I reckon that'd be fun to do, and especially an idea that was born out of something on the podcast that you just said. That'd be cool. Maybe let's keep this one short. Let's do a quick gear of the week, and
yes,
we'll keep it short and snappy. Have you got anything, or do you want me to go first?
I do have something which I haven't opened. I just got it this morning. Let's. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
My address is on here. Don't look. So this is something that Cara got me for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a little bit expensive. I do appreciate the gift, Cara. So, so for a long time, this probably helps with the whole slump thing as well. So for a long time, I've just wanted to find better ways to editing, and to make it more enjoyable, or whatever it is. I like gadgets. I like high-tech shit. So when I was actually, before I was a photographer, I was actually a draftsman. So on my desk, I had this like 3XD, or I don't know what it was called, but it was like essentially like this kind of ball / knob that I'd be able to like rotate my model in any direction.
Yeah.
So like no one else in my office had it, but because I was just like a tech kid, I just loved it. So, and it really helped me just work more efficiently. So I was hyped as. So I had that. And then the other week I was thinking, oh, what can I do to make it more enjoyable again? So a lot of people are using the loop deck. And then I got this, I guess, sponsored ad, because it must have seen me looking at shit.
Yeah.
But so I'll probably do some kind of like video on this.
Oh, cool.
It's by a company. They've rebranded to Monogram. So it's called a Creative Console, but they had a go at it, probably 3 or 4 years ago, their first version. It was very similar, just didn't work as well. But now this is their new version. So it just comes in a bunch of different pieces, all magnetic, clips on, and it works with a lot of different programs. So for me, I don't really edit too much anymore. Cara does all the like photo editing. So for me to dive more into video editing, I feel like this could be the go. So I enjoy the final edit, but I hate the process. Like it just takes too long because I'm not as experienced at it. So hopefully this can allow me to, just be a bit more efficient and also enjoy it and have easy shortcuts rather than, just struggling on my keyboard. But yeah, I don't know. I'll see how it goes. But that's the tool. Hopefully it's good. If it's shit, I'll tell you. So.
Okay, interesting. I actually have wondered because I've been served a lot of those ads as well, and it looks fun. And like you said, I mean, in general, I think both of us, we just like gadgets. But the sort of like, the dilemma I've always had was, like, for example, let's say 5 or so years ago, Jem's parents got me a Wacom tablet. Is that how you say it? Wacom? Wacom?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, they got me one of those for Christmas, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool gift. That seems fun as. And I tried it for a week, and I was like, I just can't get used to it. Like the learning curve seems too high.
It seems really high.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think this is
But
really going to speed up my workflow or anything. I was like, I'm just going to use a mouse. Oh, you got one. There you go.
yeah, so I bought this for Cara like 2 months ago. She turned it on and then turned it off. So, so again, the learning curve is very high. So hopefully, I'm hoping she gets into this and I get into that other thing, and we both, you know, exceed our
Productivity's off the
expectations.
charts.
But
Yeah.
again, I'm like, oh man, I can like for Photoshop, you know, I can brush shit in and out and like, but even I've had a go, and it's like it's a lot. It's just not as I guess easy as say, you know, an iPad where you
Yeah.
just can literally draw on it, and it's like it's just the experience is a lot harder than I thought.
It's a weird one because you think of it like an iPad where anything, anywhere you touch will, you know, affect. But in actual fact, on a tablet like that, you can rest your palm on it, and you actually, all you need to do is just hover the pen without touching it to move the mouse.
Yeah.
But then you need to put it down and you know, it's got like pressure sensitive and whatever. Anyway, it's super weird because you have to learn basically to keep the tip of it just above as you're moving without actually touching.
Which goes against just everything you've ever learnt in your whole life. That's why I think it's so weird, because you're like, it's hovering, and also like on a trackpad or whatever, you can just start anywhere and then start again, like from the middle, and it'll be up to the top right.
Yes,
And
that's
then when
true.
you go back to the middle, it'll still be in the top right. Whereas this, you physically have to go from that's the one corner of the screen to the other. You
True,
can't just
true.
like keep sliding it. So there's I don't know. It's a hard product to learn.
Yeah, I went through the same thing. Yeah.
So
Cool.
what's your tool of the week?
My one is not as sexy as that. It's actually plugged into the computer, so I can't hold it up. It's so small, but it's just made such a just positive impact on my life. You know, like a traditional HDD hard drive, you know, the little connector that goes in the back of those. I think they call it like a USB B type or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like a mini SATA or something like that. I can't remember what it is. But do you know what it looks like?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I've got like 4,000 of those cables.
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, I just bought like 3 or 4 of them, but on the other end, it's got USB-C.
Yeah, right. I didn't know they existed.
I didn't know they existed either.
But
basically,
that would be awesome.
All of my old hard drives are USB Type A.
Yeah.
And now, instead of having to muck around with dongles and stuff, anytime I grab an old hard drive, I just plug this, you know, $3 cable in or whatever it costs, and it just works straight.
That's so good.
With the laptop. It's brilliant. Yeah. So that's a not sexy, but very, very useful little change.
Well, that's sexy, I think, because I need it. Like the amount of hard drives we have for storage is just ridiculous. So every time we buy a new hard drive, we get the cable as well. So I've got a pile of cables and a pile of hard drives, but technically I only ever really need 3, maybe 4 if I'm transferring or archiving. So yeah, what a pain in the ass it is to have a dongle every time. And then, anyway, well, I'm going to look that up. And once again, something that you've suggested, I'll go out and purchase.
Just quickly, do you have a good solution for like a hub or a dongle with your MacBooks?
Not really. I've looked into, damn it, can't think of the name of it. They've just stopped selling them at Apple, but I think it was a Cal Digit or something. Cal Digit was the brand, or Cal Digi, but it was about this big, and it essentially just sits on your desktop, and then you can plug everything into it. At the moment, I've just got like single little whatever brand it is. Like it's got a SD, micro SD, 2 USBs and a USB-C or something. But
do you find it super sketch?
I see. Yeah, I just need a better solution. Like it's shit. Like, and the thing is, I'd like one that sat under my laptop. I've seen them as well that just has one USB, but then it's still for me. It's just still too many cables. Like I hate all the cables. That's why like everything on my desktop here, there's no cables anywhere. Like they're all hidden. I don't want to look at that shit. And then everything I buy is pretty much US like Bluetooth. So I just I don't want it. Like I'd rather the minimal kind of setup.
I feel that on a spiritual
But
level. Yeah.
it's the future.
Yeah. All right, mate, we'll leave it there for today. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you once again. If you are watching or listening to this, I decided during the week, I've never put a number on it, but I really want to make it to 50 episodes because I think that is, or maybe 52, make it a whole year because I think that's giving it a red hot go. And I don't think many podcasts would make it that far. So whether I have to beg, borrow, steal, or even do more solo episodes, I really want to make it a full year. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have anything you'd like to contribute to the conversation, leave us a comment down below. If you could just snuggle that like button for me and hit subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be great. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.